Good morning, everyone. Happy Sabbath to you all. May the blessings of God be upon you today as we look at this powerful story of grace. We're on the theme of being set free. Nothing sets us free more than accepting God's amazing grace. Have you ever felt like your failures disqualified you from God's calling? In the story of Aaron, as we see him in Exodus chapter 32 and later in Exodus chapter 40, we come face to face with the amazing power and depth of God's grace. In Exodus chapter 32, Moses is gone into the mountain to commune with God. The people became restless. They were left under the care of Aaron. The Bible tells us in verse 2 to 4 that Aaron then said to the restless people, "Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, your sons, and your daughters, and bring them to me." So all the people broke off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. And he received the gold from their hand, and he fashioned it with an engraving tool and made a molded calf. Then he said, "This is your God, O Israel, that brought you out of the land of Egypt." Now, if ever there is someone who deserves to be disqualified from spiritual leadership and from walking into his purpose, it had to be Aaron. He stood next to his brother Moses as God showed his power. He knew the calling for the children of Israel and what God expected from them. He was trusted to keep the people, and Aaron was the one who built the golden calf, then declared it to be God, then made an altar. And later, when Aaron was confronted about what had happened, Aaron's excuse to Moses was that he just threw the gold into the fire and the calf came out of it. And so he lied about it. But Aaron's story doesn't end there. In Exodus chapter 40, God is preparing the temple, and he gives this instruction to the people of Israel. "Bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance to the tent of meeting and wash them with water. Then dress Aaron in the sacred garments, anoint him, and consecrate him so he may serve me as priest." Exodus 40, verse 12 and 13. Grace is not about what we deserve. It is about what God gives. Grace does not excuse sin, but grace restores the repentant sinner to God's plan for the sinners. God delights in exalting the humble and uplifting the undeserving. Aaron wore garments of glory, not because of his perfection, but because of God's mercy and grace. Think about it. The very hand that once shaped an idol were later lifted in blessing over Israel. Leviticus 9, verse 22. This is what grace does. It takes the hands, it takes the woman, it takes the man that failed and turns them into instruments of blessing. Now, if God's grace could lift Aaron from idolmaker to high priest, then surely his grace can restore and exalt you. Don't let your past define you. Let God's grace write your future. I pray that this message has blessed you, and I encourage you to share it with someone who needs to be reminded that their purpose still stands, because God's mercy, God's grace is greater than all our mistakes. May the words of this song, "Grace wrote my story." Amazing grace, you lifted me from the ashes, you set me free. Once unworthy, now I stand clothed in righteousness by God's hand. Grace wrote my story. Grace made me whole. And grace is a song that saves my soul. May this song continue the blessings of the morning as we say, amen and amen.
I built an idol with my hands, turned away from God's commands, failed at righteousness by